Hey guys, tonight you're not watching history. You're being dropped into it. No preparation, no warning, no explanation, just a moment where everything changes. You wake up, not slowly, not peacefully. You wake up because your body refuses to stay where it is. Everything feels wrong, not in a clear way, not in a way you can immediately understand, just wrong. The ground beneath you isn't stable, it shifts, constantly, not enough to throw you off immediately, but enough to make sure you never feel balanced. You keep your eyes closed because your brain is trying to solve something simple. Where are you? Why does it feel like this? And why does your body already feel like it's losing? Then the smell hits you, sharp, heavy, impossible to ignore: salt, wet wood, something sour, something stale. Something that feels like it's been trapped in the same place for too long. And underneath all of it, something human: sweat, sickness, fatigue. You open your eyes, mistake. The world doesn't stay still, it tilts, shifts, slides sideways. The sky moves when it shouldn't. The horizon doesn't stay where it belongs. Your brain tries to correct it, it can't. Because the problem isn't your vision, it's everything else. You're not on land, you're not even close to it. You're on water, open water. And the water doesn't care about you. The ship rises, slowly, then drops, harder than you expect. Your stomach reacts instantly, not gradually, not politely. Immediately, you stay still, trying to control it. Trying to convince your body this is manageable. It is. You turn your head, and that's when you see them. Men, not clean, not comfortable, not concerned. They're moving, working, adjusting ropes, shifting weight, watching the horizon, like this is normal, like this is just another day. And then they notice you, not all at once. One at a time, a glance, then another, then a few more, and then laughter, short, dry, not cruel, but not kind either, just familiar, like they've seen this exact moment before. Many times you try to sit up. Your arms push against the wood beneath you. Wet, cold, unstable, your body lifts slightly. Then the ship shifts again, and suddenly you're not in control. Your balance disappears, your arms slip, and you fall back down. Hard, more laughter. A little louder this time, not because they hate you, but because this is expected. This is the beginning, and everyone starts the same way. Weak, unstable, useless. You stay down for a second, not by choice, but because your body hasn't decided it's ready to cooperate yet. Your breathing feels off, not fast, just uneven, like your body is trying to sync with something it doesn't understand. The movement, the rhythm, the constant instability. You try again, slowly this time, more careful. You sit up. The world still moves, but slightly less violently. Or maybe you're just adjusting. You don't know which is worse. You grab onto the side of the ship. Wood, rough, solid, it helps. Not completely, but enough. You pull yourself up. Your legs shake, not dramatically, just enough to remind you. You are not ready for this. You manage to stand. Barely, the wind hits you, cold, sharp. It cuts through your clothes like they're optional. You look down, they practically are, thin, damp, already losing the fight against the sea. The ship rises again, then drops. Your stomach reacts faster this time. You turn. Too late, you don't even try to hide it, because no one else cares. And that's when something clicks. Embarrassment doesn't exist here. Not because people are kind, but because no one has time for it. You wipe your mouth, slowly, trying to regain some sense of control, but control isn't something you have right now, and maybe that's the point. You look around again, really look this time. The ship isn't large, not compared to what you're used to, but it feels crowded, not because of space, but because of presence. Everyone here belongs. Everyone here knows what they're doing. Everyone here has a role except you, and that makes you stand out, more than you want to, more than is safe. Because on this ship, being useless isn't temporary, it's a problem, and problems don't last long. The sea crashes lightly against the sides, a constant reminder. You're not in control of anything here, not the movement, not the direction, not even your own body. And then you feel it, the cold again, deeper this time, not just on your skin, inside, slowly spreading, persistent, unavoidable. There is no dry place, no warm corner, no moment where your body gets to reset. The sea doesn't allow that, and that's when you realize something important. This isn't the challenge. This is the baseline. This is normal. And if this is normal, you're already behind. You grip the side tighter, not out of fear, but out of necessity, because standing here, staying upright, keeping your balance, already feels like work, and no one has even asked you to do anything yet. And that's when the thought appears, quiet, uncomfortable. What happens when they do? Because eventually, they will, and when they do, you won't be judged by effort. You'll be judged by outcome. And right now, you can barely stand. And here's the truth you're starting to understand. The sea isn't what's going to break you. It's everything else. Because very soon, you're going to learn something much worse than instability, much worse than cold, much worse than losing control of your body. The men on this ship are not here to help you survive. They're here to see if you deserve to. You're still holding the side of the ship, not because you want to, because letting go feels like a risk you can't afford. Your hands tighten around the wood, rough, wet, cold. It grounds you, not completely, but enough to keep you from falling again. You try to focus on your breathing, slow, controlled, but your body doesn't cooperate because the ship doesn't stop moving. Up, down, side to side, constant, unpredictable. You try to anticipate it, you fail. Because the sea doesn't follow patterns you understand. It follows its own, and your body is still trying to catch up. Your stomach turns again. You feel it building, stronger this time, faster. You close your eyes, bad idea. The darkness makes it worse. Your balance disappears completely. Your mind spins. You open them again quickly. Too quickly. The light hits you hard, everything tilts again, and just like that, you lose. You lean over the side this time, barely making it. Your body gives up everything it has left, violently, uncontrolled. You stay there, hands gripping tight, breathing uneven, waiting for it to stop. It doesn't, not immediately. It comes in waves, just like the sea, and for a moment, you think something dangerous. I can't do this. Not dramatically, not emotionally, just honestly. And honesty here is a problem because this doesn't ask if you can do it. It expects you to. Eventually it stops, or at least slows down enough for you to function again. You pull yourself back. Slow, careful, your arms feel weaker now, your legs less stable, but you're still standing, barely. And then it happens, a voice, sharp, direct. You don't understand the words, but you understand the tone. You've heard it before, orders. You look up. One of them is staring at you, Not waiting, expecting, he gestures, quick, clear. You don't know what he said, but you know one thing. You're supposed to do something. Now you hesitate just for a second, that's enough. The expression on his face changes, not anger, something worse. Disappointment, like he expected this, like you've already failed. He gestures again, more aggressively this time. You move, not confidently, not correctly, just moving. You step forward, the ship shifts. You adjust too late, your balance slips again. You catch yourself, but not smoothly, not well, and now. Everyone sees it. No one says anything. But they're watching, always watching. You reach the rope, or at least. You think it's the rope he meant. You grab it. It's heavier than you expect. Rough, hard on your hands. You pull, nothing happens. You pull harder, still nothing. You look back, mistake. He's still watching you. And now there's something new in his expression. Judgment, not loud, not dramatic, just decided. You're doing it wrong, and everyone knows it. Another man steps in. Not quickly, not urgently, just efficiently. He grabs the rope, adjusts his grip, pulls once, and suddenly, everything moves. Easily, controlled, correct. He doesn't look at you, doesn't speak, doesn't react. He just fixes your mistake, like it wasn't worth acknowledging. And somehow, that feels worse than being yelled at. Because yelling means you matter. This means you don't. You step back, not told to, but it feels like the right thing to do, or maybe just the only thing to do. Your hands sting, you look down, skin already irritated, red, starting to break. And that's when you realize something important. This isn't a one-time effort. This is constant. Everything here is constant. The movement, the cold, the work. There is no break, no moment where you get to learn slowly. You either keep up or you fall behind. And falling behind here isn't safe. You move back to the side, gripping the wood again, not out of fear this time, out of awareness. You're not ready, not even close, and they know it. You can feel it, not in what they say, but in what they don't say. No one explains anything. No one teaches you. No one slows down, because this isn't a place where you're trained. It's a place where you prove yourself, or you don't. The ship continues forward, unbothered by your struggle, unchanged by your presence. And that's when you see it clearly. This isn't a team, not in the way you understand teams. This is a hierarchy, clear, unspoken, absolute. At the top, those who know. In the middle, those who follow. And at the bottom, you. And the bottom is not a comfortable place to stay, because at the bottom, you're not essential, you're optional, and optional things can be removed without consequence. The wind picks up, stronger now, colder. The sea responds. The movement becomes sharper, more aggressive. The ship rises higher, drops harder. Your body reacts again. But this time, you fight it, you hold it, barely, because now, it's not just about surviving the sea. It's about surviving them, and failing in front of them is something you can't afford twice. And just when you think you understand the rules, the sea decides to remind you of something important. You're not the biggest problem here, because very soon, you're going to face something none of them can fully control, a storm. And when it hits, being weak won't just embarrass you, it will end you. At first, it doesn't look like much. You almost miss it. A change in the sky, not dramatic, just darker. A thin layer of clouds where there weren't any before. You glance at it, then look away, because right now, Everything already feels difficult enough. You don't need another problem, but the men on the ship, they notice. Immediately. Not with panic, not with urgency, just awareness, subtle shifts. One of them looks up. Another adjusts something on the mast. Someone else moves without being told. No words, no discussion, just action. And that's when you understand something important. This is routine, not new, not surprising, just part of the system. The wind changes. At first, it's barely noticeable. Then it hits you again, stronger, colder, more direct. It doesn't pass through you anymore, it pushes you. The ship responds instantly. The movement changes. No longer a rhythm you were starting to understand. Now it's sharper, more aggressive, unpredictable. You tighten your grip without thinking. Your body reacts faster than your mind now, because somewhere inside, you already know this is about to get worse. The sky darkens further, not slowly, quickly, like something is covering it, blocking the light, turning everything gray, flat, heavy. The sea changes too. The surface tight. The waves grow, not massive, not yet, but enough to feel different, enough to feel wrong. You look around, everyone is moving now, faster, more focused. No hesitation, no wasted movement. You want to ask what's happening. You do. Because no one else is asking, they already know. And the fact that you don't, that makes you even more dangerous to yourself. A voice cuts through the wind. Loud, sharp. You don't understand the words, but you understand the urgency. You freeze for half a second, wrong move. Someone pushes past you. Hard, not aggressive, just necessary. You stumble, catch yourself. Barely. The ship tilts suddenly, farther than before. Your balance disappears again. But this time, there's no recovery. You drop to one knee. Your hand slams against the wood. Pain shoots through your palm. You don't react. You don't have time. Another wave hits. Stronger. The ship rises. Higher than before. Then drops. Hard. Your stomach lurches. But there's nothing left to lose. The wind howls now. No longer background noise. Now it's constant, loud, demanding. It fills your ears, pushes against your body, makes even standing feel like resistance. Water crashes over the side, cold, violent. It hits your legs, soaks everything instantly. Any warmth you had, gone. You try to stand again. Your legs shake. The ship tilts again. You stop trying. You grab onto anything you can reach. Wood, rope, edges. It doesn't matter. You just need something that doesn't move. But everything moves. Everything. You look up. The sail snaps violently. The mast creaks. Loud, too loud, like it's under stress, like it might not hold. And for the first time, fear hits you clearly. Not subtle, not quiet, direct. This can go very wrong. You watch the others, trying to understand what to do. But they're not watching you. They're working, fast, precise. Each movement intentional, each action connected to something else. They're part of the system, you're not, and that becomes painfully obvious. You're in the way, not helping, not contributing, just existing in a space where existence isn't enough. Another shout, closer this time, directed at you. You look up. A man points, then gestures sharply. You don't understand. You hesitate again. And this time, that hesitation costs you. A wave hits harder than the rest. The ship jerks violently. Your grip slips. For a fraction of a second. You're not connected to anything. Your body lifts, weightless, unstable, and in that moment, everything goes quiet, not physically. The storm is still there. The wind still howls. The sea still crashes, but inside your head, there's silence, because your brain understands something instantly. If you fall, No one can save you. There's no safety net. No second chance, just water, cold, endless, unforgiving. Your hand catches something, rope, rough, burns your skin as you grab it, but you hold, you don't think, you just hold. Your body slams back against the ship. Hard, pain spreads through your side, you don't react, you're still here, that's enough. For now, you stay low, closer to the ship, closer to stability, if stability even exists anymore. The storm builds, stronger, waves higher. Wind louder, everything more intense. Time stretches again. You don't know how long this lasts. Minutes, hours, it doesn't matter. Because every second feels the same. Unstable, unpredictable, uncontrolled, and slowly. Something changes, not the storm. Your movements become smaller, more efficient, less reactive. You stop trying to control everything and start focusing on one thing. Holding on, staying low, not fighting the movement, but surviving it. And that's when it happens. Not victory, not relief, understanding. The sea isn't something you beat, it's something you endure, just like the road, just like the system. You don't win, you last. The storm doesn't stop suddenly, it fades, slowly. The wind weakens, the waves lower, the movement softens, bit by bit, until you realize something strange. You're still holding on, even though you don't need to anymore. Your body hasn't caught up yet. It's still in survival mode, still expecting the next hit, the next shift, the next moment where everything goes wrong. You let go slowly. Carefully, you stand. Your legs feel different now, not stronger, but more aware, more prepared. You look around. The men are still working, but slower now, calmer, like this was just another part of the journey, because for them, it was, and for you, it was a test, and somehow, you didn't fail, not completely, but this changes something, because now you understand. The sea doesn't care if you're ready. The crew doesn't care if you're ready. And the system, it never waits for you to be ready. It forces you to become ready, or disappear. And just when you think you've survived the worst, you notice something else. Land, not relief, not safety, because what's waiting there might be even worse than the sea. At first, you think it's relief. Land, solid, still, not moving beneath you, not shifting, not fighting your balance. After everything you just went through, it feels like safety. It is. The ship slows, not gently, controlled, intentional. The men change again, not relaxed, not relieved, focused. More than before, you notice it immediately, because it's different from anything you've seen so far on the sea. They react, they adjust, they endure. Here they prepare. Weapons appear, not dramatically, not for show, just present. Axes, knives, shields. You didn't notice them before. Now you can't ignore them. The energy shifts, quiet, tight. No one is talking, no one is laughing. Even the wind feels different, heavier. You look toward the shore, small structures, simple, smoke rising. Life, normal life, and suddenly, something feels wrong. Because you understand something before it happens. You are not arriving as a guest, you are arriving as a threat. The ship hits the shore, hard enough to feel it, not hard enough to stop anyone. They move immediately. No hesitation, no pause, they jump off. Into shallow water, cold, unbothered. You stay where you are for a second, not by choice. Your body just doesn't move. Because your brain is trying to process something simple. What am I supposed to do? No one answers, because no one is thinking about you. They're already moving forward, fast, organized. You see it now. This isn't chaos. This is planned. Every movement has purpose. Every person has a role, except you. And that realization hits harder than the storm. Because out here, not having a role is dangerous. You force yourself to move, you step off the ship. The water hits instantly. Cold, sharp, your body reacts, but you push through it because staying behind feels worse. You reach land, real ground, solid, but it doesn't feel stable because everything else is moving too fast. They're already ahead of you, spreading out, not randomly. Strategically, you try to follow, but you don't know where to go, who to follow, what to do. You're not part of the system, you're inside it. And that's a very different position. Then you hear it, a scream, sharp, human, close, you stop, instinct, but stopping here is a mistake. Someone shoves past you, hard, you stumble forward, and suddenly, you're in it, not watching, not observing, inside it. People running, voices shouting, footsteps everywhere. The calm from the ship is gone, replaced by something chaotic, unpredictable, dangerous. You see someone ahead of you, not one of them, someone from here. They're not armed, not prepared. They're just trying to escape. And for a moment, everything slows down because now you understand something important. This isn't survival like before. This isn't you against nature. This is you inside someone else's worst moment, and you don't know where you stand in it. You hesitate again. That hesitation is becoming a pattern, and patterns here get noticed. Someone grabs you, not violently, but firmly, pulls you forward, forces you to move. You don't resist. You can't, because everything is happening too fast, too close, too real. You hear more screams, closer now. You don't look, not because you don't want to, but because you're afraid of what you'll see. Your breathing changes, faster, not from running, from tension, from confusion, from something deeper. This isn't what your body was preparing for. The storm made sense. The sea made sense. This doesn't, because there's no clear rule here. No simple objective like stay alive. Everything is blurred, unclear, and that makes it worse. You follow movement, not direction, because movement is the only thing that feels safe right now. You stay close to them not because you belong, but because being alone feels dangerous. You see flashes of action, quick, unclear, you don't process them fully. Your brain avoids it, protects you. Because understanding everything would slow you down, and slowing down is not an option. Time stretches again, like it did in the storm, but this time it feels different, heavier, more personal, eventually. It stops, not completely, but enough. The movement slows, the noise fades, the intensity drops, you're still standing, breathing harder now, your hands feel tight. You didn't even notice you were clenching them. You look around. Things are quieter, but not calm, not normal. Something has changed. Not just around you, inside you, because now you understand something you didn't before. This world doesn't separate survival from everything else. It blends them for them. This is part of survival, and for you, it's something you weren't ready for, not physically, but mentally. And that's when it hits you. You survived the sea. You survived the storm, but this is where most people break. Not because they can't handle it, but because they don't understand it. And just when you think it's over, you realize something else. This wasn't the goal. This was just one stop. And the journey, it's far from finished. It ends, but not cleanly. There's no clear moment where everything stops. No signal, no announcement, just less noise, less movement, less urgency, until you realize it's over, or at least over enough to breathe. You're standing still. You don't remember deciding to stop. Your body just did. Your breathing is heavy, not from running, from everything else, from tension, from confusion, from something you can't fully explain. You look around, slowly, carefully, like moving too fast might bring everything back. The space feels different now. Not chaotic, not calm either. Just changed, like something passed through it and left something behind. The men are still moving, but not like before. Slower, more deliberate, less intensity, but not relaxed. Never relaxed. Because even now, they're aware, always aware. You watch them trying to understand, trying to match what you're feeling with what they're showing. It doesn't match, not even close, because while you're still processing, they've already moved on, not emotionally, functionally. They're adjusting, resetting, continuing like this was expected, like this was normal. And that disconnect feels heavier than anything before, because now you understand something uncomfortable. This isn't new to them. This isn't shocking. This isn't something they need time to process. This is part of the system, and systems don't pause for emotions. You look down at your hands, still tight. You didn't notice you were clenching them. Your fingers slowly loosen, but the tension doesn't fully leave. It stays somewhere deeper. You sit down, not because you're told to, because your body needs it, needs something stable, something still. You place your hands on the ground, solid, cold, real, for a moment. That's enough. Just feeling something that doesn't move, that doesn't shift, that doesn't demand anything from you. You close your eyes, carefully this time, not to escape, just to reduce. Reduce the input, the noise, the weight of everything around you, and that's when it starts. The thoughts, not loud, not overwhelming, just present. What just happened? What did you just go through? What were you supposed to do? What did you actually do? The questions don't have clear answers, and that's what makes them stay. You open your eyes again, because staying inside your head feels more dangerous than staying outside. You look around again, more carefully this time, not just observing, analyzing. You start noticing details: who stands where, who speaks, who doesn't, who leads, who follows. The structure becomes clearer, not because someone explained it, because you've been forced to see it. Hierarchy, just like the ship, just like everything else, but deeper here, more layered, more human. Respect isn't given, it's understood. Position isn't announced, it's recognized. And weakness is remembered. You feel that part clearly because you know how you looked: uncertain, hesitant, out of place. And even if no one said anything, they saw it. And in systems like this, being seen like that matters. You stand again. Slower now, more controlled. Not because you're comfortable, because you've learned something. Every movement here means something. You don't rush. You don't hesitate. You move. Just enough. You notice someone glance at you, brief, then look away. No reaction, no judgment you can read, just awareness. And strangely, that feels better than before, because now you're not invisible, but you're not a problem either. You're somewhere in between, and right now, that's the safest place to be. Time passes, you don't know how much. It feels slower here. Not because nothing is happening, because everything is quieter, more controlled, more internal, and that's when something shifts. Not outside, Inside you, a small realization, simple but heavy. You're still here, after the sea, after the storm, after this. You're still here, not strong, not confident, not in control, but present. And maybe that's enough for now, because survival here isn't about dominating the system. It's about staying inside it long enough to understand it, to adapt to it, to become part of it, or at least not be pushed out of it. You look toward the ship, still there, waiting, because of course it is. The system doesn't end here. This wasn't the destination, just another part of the journey. And suddenly, you understand something clearly. There is no after. No final moment where you're safe. No point where you can say, I made it. Because here, making it means continuing again and again and again. And just when you think you've started to understand the rules, you realize something worse. The real test isn't surviving one moment, it's surviving all of them, without losing yourself completely. You don't notice when it starts again. There's no announcement, no moment where someone says it's time to leave, just movement, subtle at first, men gathering, equipment shifting, voices low, controlled, and then you see it, the ship, still where it was, waiting, not for you, for the system, because this was never the destination, just a stop. You stand there for a moment, longer than you should, because something inside you is resisting, not physically, mentally, a quiet thought. Not again. Not the sea, not the movement, not the instability, not going back into something that never lets you rest. But the system doesn't care about that thought. It never did. People are already moving, back toward the water, back toward the ship. No hesitation, no discussion, just continuation. And you understand something clearly now. The difference between you and them isn't strength, it's acceptance. They don't fight the system, they move with it. You hesitate just for a second, but that second feels longer than it is. Because now you know what hesitation means. It's visible, it's remembered, it's judged, so you move. Not because you want to, because you have to. You step into the water again. Cold, sharp, familiar now. And that's the part that feels the strangest. It's not new anymore, it's not shocking, it's expected. You reach the ship, grab the edge, pull yourself up. Your body remembers how to do it. Better than before, not well, but better. You climb in. No one looks at you, no one reacts, and somehow that feels like progress. Because before, you were noticed for the wrong reasons. Now, you're just part of the movement, and here, that's the goal. The ship pushes off, not dramatically, just leaving. The land gets smaller, slower this time, because you're watching it differently, not as relief, not as escape, just another place you passed through. And that realization settles deeper than anything before. There is no safe place. Only different environments, different systems, different rules, same pressure. The sea takes over again. Movement returns, up, down, side to side, but something is different now. Not the sea, you. Your body adjusts faster. Your balance holds slightly longer. Your grip is more intentional. You're still uncomfortable, still unstable, but not completely lost. And that's when it becomes clear. You're adapting. Not because you want to, because you have to. Time passes. You don't measure it anymore, not in minutes, not in hours, just in moments. Moments of stability, moments of struggle, moments of awareness, the rhythm of survival. You start noticing smaller things, the way they move, the way they anticipate the waves, the way they don't waste energy. Nothing is extra, everything has purpose, even rest, even silence. You try to copy it, not perfectly, but intentionally, adjusting your stance, changing your grip, watching the horizon differently, and slowly, you stop reacting to everything. You start choosing what to react to, and that changes everything. The cold is still there, but it doesn't shock you anymore. The movement is still constant, but it doesn't confuse you the same way. The fear, still present, but quieter, more controlled. And that's when you realize something important. You're not becoming stronger, you're becoming functional. And in this world, that's more valuable. Days blur together. Or maybe it's just one long day, it doesn't matter. Because the system doesn't measure time the way you do. It measures continuity. And you're still part of it. That's what matters. At some point, you sit, not collapsing, not giving up, just sitting, controlled, intentional, watching the sea, not as an enemy, not as something to fear, just something that exists, something you move through, something that doesn't change for you, and for the first time, you don't feel like you're fighting it. You feel like you're existing with it. And that's when the final realization begins to form. Slowly, quietly, but clearly. This was never about Vikings. Not really. It wasn't about the ship, or the storm, or the raid. Those were just environments, different versions of the same idea. The real story is about you, placed inside something bigger, something that doesn't adapt to you, something that doesn't care if you're ready, something that keeps moving, no matter what. And your only choice is simple. You either learn to exist inside it, or you get left behind. That's it. No shortcuts, no guarantees, no moment where it becomes easy, just continuation. And maybe that's what makes it meaningful. Not comfort, not control, but the fact that you kept going, even when you didn't understand, even when you weren't ready, even when stopping felt easier. You kept moving, and now you're still here, not perfect, not strong, not in control, but aware. And awareness changes everything, because now, when you return to your life, everything looks different. The pressure, the expectations, the constant movement, the feeling that things don't slow down, that you don't get time to figure everything out, that you're expected to perform, even when you're not ready. It's the same system, just a different form. And now you understand it better than before, not completely, but enough. Enough to navigate it. Enough to not panic when things feel overwhelming. Enough to keep going without feeling lost. The sea continues, endless, unchanged, but you're not the same. And that's the point. Direct hit, final line. You wouldn't last a day as a Viking sailor. Not because it's impossible, but because it forces you to become someone you've never had to be. If you made it this far, you didn't just watch this, you went through it. And if you want more experiences like this, you already know what to do.